Simple Cyber Defense Online Shopping Series, Episode 2 Online Scams. Welcome back to Simple Cyber Defense. In this episode, we are going to be discussing online scams. With the holiday season approaching, it's very important to keep your guard up from cyber attacks, and they will be out there to take your money whenever they can. So, my name is Carl. I'm joined with.
Hi, this is Ahmad.
And we're going to dive into the world of online scams. So, let's begin.
Well, Carl, before we dive into this, what is an online scam?
The way I would define an online scam is basically anything that's pretending to be legitimate. Like, for example, if they advertise that you'll get product A, but instead you get a cheaper, inferior product B, that would be like a scam. Or in some cases, that you won't even get anything at all. So it's basically just trickery. Like, does that make sense?
So it's kind of like a con artist, but he can con you through like online messages or some sophisticated looking brand logos and in a nice looking email.
Yeah.
Or pretending or spoofing. They're pretending to be that from another business that you commonly do business with, and
Yep.
like a large corporation. It makes it very difficult for you to tell whether this is fake or real, right?
Correct. Yep.
And because scams happen both in real life and happen online, mostly online scams will come in a form of an email or maybe an SMS message or dating sites or social networking sites, things like that. Some of them can happen, like we talked in a previous episode, through video chat.
Yeah.
So that can also be a form of an online scam. What else? I think those are good to look for.
Yeah.
So as a consumer, as an average Joe, what do I look for to be able to tell that this is a scam?
Okay, so a lot of times with these scammers, what they'll do is they will push the sense of urgency. Like if they have a product that they're trying to sell, they'll say like, "Oh, you only have 10 minutes left to get this deal," or almost out, almost sold out. So we only have like 2 products left. Just buy now, buy now. And also, if you look at the pricing, it looks way too good to be true, because a lot of the times they will have like a product that could cost a couple $100 and they'll price it for like $20. And that just doesn't seem right. But there are people who fall for it because they really like the product and it's a legitimate product that they
want the
advertising.
product.
Yes.
They work
They
on that
want the
human
product.
human
Yeah.
factor. Yeah.
And a lot of
They
times
try to work on your, attack you from your weak point, which is your desire.
Yeah.
Right?
And a lot of times it would be like either a popular product like the new PlayStation 5 or the Nintendo Switch or some fancy new computer product that's just coming out. And they'll draw into that like, "Oh, I want that." And it's at a really amazing price, so I can't, pass on it. But a lot of times it's not what they're advertising.
Okay. So, and to kind of dive deeper in this type of a scam, which you talk about the sense of urgency. This is the type of a scam where a scammer will ask you for money up front.
Correct.
say, hey, I have an emergency. I need help. I need, if this doesn't happen, this such an awful outcome will happen. Please help me out with this. Um, or kind of like, hey, just like you said, pay for things that you may want, and seems like too good to be true. um, Another type of scam is a scam that kind of tries to go not for the low hanging fruit, but they try to go a little bit further, which is kind of like, it's like a con artist, right? Somebody
Hmm.
that tries to gain your trust and then get you to reveal more information about yourself, where you live, where you work, family members,
Hmm.
financial circumstances. And once they have this information, they can use that to steal your identity, right?
Hmm.
Or even blackmail you in giving them some money,
Yeah.
right? So these are kind of like, so we're aware, there, some of them, some of them will come right out and ask you for money, and some of them will try to go the other route, just try to gain your trust, right?
Yeah.
And then you mentioned, buying stuff online and not getting what you expected.
Hmm.
Do you have an example of that you want to share with us?
Yeah. Actually, I was looking through Facebook one day, and I saw this really cool looking computer that was very compact and portable. It's a actual real computer product called the, let me see if I pull it up, the Octacle. Had it up here. Uh, the, the Octacle Sirius A. So it's a real product that it's being sold for about $800. But this company called IBGMKV.top
Sounds
was,
legitimate.
yeah, was selling the same product for only 23.85.
Wow.
So that seems like, wow, that's such a good deal. And on their page, which looks really legitimate because they stole a lot of the graphics and images from the legitimate site onto their fake page to make it look like they were being legitimate in selling this actual product. And I decided, knowing that it's a scam, just to show everyone what I actually got when I purchased this mini computer, I ended up getting a flexible keyboard, which is probably at most $5.
Does it work though?
It does work, but it is nothing like they advertised. They advertised me to have a mini computer, pocket computer, and they ended up giving me just a flexible, portable keyboard.
Hmm. Now, can somebody take that to the next level and send you a keyboard that they have installed some type of a keylogger in it?
Yeah, they could actually. And that's what I was worried about this one, so I purposely didn't put it in my main computer and I just put it into a Raspberry Pi just to verify that it worked. And I did some poking around and I couldn't find any key loggers or anything on there, but that is a possibility that they could send you this in hopes that, oh man, oh well, at least I got something and at least I want to use it since I paid for it. And then they plug it in and then all of a sudden all their types got scanned and logged, and now the user or the attacker has all their uh, passwords and whatever they typed on it. So it is a possibility. So just be very careful when you do get things like this through the mail to be sure that it's not going to be infected with things that are less desirable.
Okay. Um, cool. So we we know that there are some online resources where we can learn about scams.
Hmm.
What are some of those online resources that we can go to and they're actually trustworthy, that they won't scam me into
Yeah.
something?
Yeah. Well, see, the most of them, there is one resource from the FTC, which is the Federal Trade Commission, and they will give you many resources to not only spot what a scam is, but also how to report people who are giving you the scams. Um, Mostly that's for the US, but there's also one for Australia, which does this similar things where they will just alert you of different scams going around and how to protect yourself on there. The links to these sites will be in the show notes, so if you want to go look through them, they'll be there provided for you.
So what are some common scams that you can run into online so that,
Um,
because if you're aware of what to look for,
mhm.
you won't fall for it, right?
Yeah,
You'll avoid those pitfalls. So what are some of the common scams that we can be on the lookout for?
I would say the most common ones, there are three most common ones. One being the online shopping sites, which give products that are at huge amount of discounts. The second one I would say would be the tech support hotline. So you go to a website and then you see a little pop up that says, "Hey, your computer's infected. Please call Microsoft at this 800 number." Da da da. But then when you call it, you're not calling actual Microsoft. You're calling someone from India who is just out there to sell you a fake product to resolve an issue that isn't an issue. And the third one, it would, it's called what's called a romance scam. What they'll go around is they'll pretend to be a person and then get you to have feelings for them through long conversations. And then once you have once you have a sense of connection with them, they'll start asking you for money a little bit at a time, and then eventually you'll end up draining your entire bank account and giving it to them because they were like, "Oh, I want to meet you, but I don't have the money for a plane ticket, so can you wire me over X amount of money?" And then once you do that, they disappear.
Okay. Um, cool. Well, if we go to one of the resources that we'll have in, in the show notes, is the FBI website, right? And if
Mm-hmm.
you FBI usually every year they'll update the most common scams and crimes, right?
Yep.
If you go to their website and there's scams and safety and there's common scams and safety, I'll see you can filter by year or by month or whatever, but it's continuously updated. And what they have it broken down into like general categories, and we can talk about each of those categories for days, right?
Yeah.
So there is, for this year, for example, they have one that's called advanced fee schemes, whereas, hey, you give me $100 and you win $900,000. You usually get those from Nigeria, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, there is a business email compromise, and this is where relies on the fact that we deal with emails most of the time, especially dealing with other businesses, and this works on gaining the trust of the individual that you're working with. There's also business fraud, which is different than business compromise, because
Yep.
business fraud is a business that's actually working in a dishonest and illegal manner, right? There's another one that's very common, which is charity or disaster fraud. And now that with
Yeah.
the advent of all these websites where you can uh, solicit donations,
Mm-hmm.
without having to be embarrassed about it because you are just a picture or a face or some fake story can be on there, right?
Yeah.
Um, Counterfeit drugs. You can go and you buy some drugs that are actually hazardous for your health. It's not just that they may be expired, but they're just totally wrong. Not even the drugs that you're looking for.
Yeah.
Credit card fraud. We're all familiar with that. It's unauthorized use of your credit card or gaining access to your information by you volunteering it through social engineering. Elder fraud that we hear about. Something that's new over the past 5 years is election.
Yeah,
election crimes and security, right? Whether it's an outside actor or no actor at all, but people work on the emotions of other people who can maybe, straddling a certain party line, and they fall for those. Again, we're social engineering based on your own desires and your own wants. It's very
Yep.
easy to get you to go another step further, Um, another one is the anti-aging products. You buy this cream
Yep.
for $100 and you look 100 years younger. And
Yep.
Healthcare fraud. Okay. Because healthcare fraud affects not just patients, but patients and doctors and organizations and
Yep.
nurses. Identity theft. Right, we talked about that before. Identity theft is a form of online fraud. Online auctions or internet auctions. I remember some websites. Oh, you can buy this TV for $2.
Yep.
Well, it doesn't work that way. You would get $2 from this guy, $2 from this girl, $2 from that guy. At the end, it's $500,000, and then you send a $200 TV to one of them.
Yeah.
Right. There's a lot of market manipulations. Now they're going after the people with more money and more intellect, and people that are actually studying, and people that want to be like those, but they're too lazy to actually study and do like security analysis and understand what where to spend their money and what they're getting for their money. There's non-delivery of merchandise. You kind of dodged the bullet there. You got a $2 keyboard for $25. That's not too bad. But somebody could just ask you, hey, do this and buy this. I buy it, and then you don't get anything in the mail.
Yeah.
Right. So there, Ponzi schemes, pyramid schemes, ransomware, all that stuff. Reverse mortgage scams. This became popular, I think 10 years ago, and I haven't been paying attention to it. But then one of the ones that you mentioned is romance scam, right? Well, you make someone desperate, fall in love with nothing, and then you start to, get their money, or hey, send me this, I need this, I need that. What is this one is called sextortion.
Yeah.
Also, and this one is interesting. It's a crime that involves adults coercing kids and teens into sending illicit images online. One of my instructors once said, if you don't want your private photos seen online, don't take them.
Don't take them. Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Because I don't care how secure you are. It can be a data breach that you have no control over.
Yep.
And there goes all your private information. So now you're damage control, and damage control takes a long time for you to, find those photos and
delete them all.
And go after them and delete them and all that. And if you remember, it was the England cats. What's her name? The dude and his wife. Princess Kate, or is that her name?
Yeah, Princess Kate.
Yeah. Remember, there was some photos online before they got married, and then after they got married, there was this big, huge, internet purge.
Yeah.
Now imagine how much resources and money these people have, and you can still find those photos online.
Yeah. You just gotta
look. Yeah. If you're that interested, you'll find them. They're not that difficult to find. So that really struck a chord with me. It's like, and this is, I have young kids, and that's what I tell them. You don't take pictures you don't want anybody to see them.
Because once it's out there, there's no control over it.
There's no control. Not even if it's out there. If it's even on your device.
Yeah.
Even if it's on your device. So don't even go that route, and it'll save you a lot of headache in the future.
Yeah.
So, Carl, I want to kind of dive into maybe one or two scams, if we have the time, that involve this season that's coming upon us, which is the holiday season, and we're doing a lot of shopping online, and we're doing a lot of receiving a lot of merchandise. What are two scams that we commonly fall for, and how to protect ourselves from
Mhm.
those scams.
So with the holiday season, there are the two major scams that I'd see would go in the delivery scams, which what happens was the attacker will send you either an email or a text message saying, "Hey, your package is has tried to be delivered, but we couldn't for some reason. So can you click on this link to verify your address or something like that?" And then once you get to that malicious site, then they'll start saying, "Okay, we could give you this package earlier or to this time if you give us like $1 or $2 or whatever." And then once you give them the credit card, they turn around and sell it to someone else, and then you end up with like a $10,000 bill instead of like a $1 or $2 charge that they said that they'd give you. Um, to protect you on this one, I would just say the best thing to do is if you're expecting a package, do not click any links on any emails or text messages that you receive pretending to be the courier, but to actually go to the site that you actually ordered the product from, and they will tell you how to track your product. And that way, the attacker isn't going to be able to fool you because you're going to the actual source, the person who's actually delivering to you. And if you're not expecting any packages at all, then there'd be no reason for you to get a email or any kind of alert saying that your package is delayed or anything like that. So you just disregard those emails because it will be a scam. Um, so the second one, major one for the holiday season to look out for are basically, I would just say the fake storefronts because they're going to be popping up left and right and center everywhere, especially with these major big popular products out there and say, "Hey, we can give you a deal," and instead of spending like $600 on the product, we can give it to you for 100 or whatever, and then you trust them, but they end up not giving you what they advertised. A lot of times these storefronts will give you like these weird names like the IBGMKV dot top, and they're all gonna look very generic. And and another way you can tell that this is a fake site is the link that they give you will go directly to their product. But if you go to their home page on their site, you won't be able to find their product on there that they're listing. You'll find a whole bunch of different random products on there, but you'll never be able to find that special deal product that they're advertising through Facebook or wherever that they're advertising for them. So another thing to look out for, I would say, is just if the price is too good to be true, most likely it is. Just stop, think, like, okay, why would they be selling a $600 hot product for any kind of discount? Because this in this holiday season, it's all about making money, and they're not going to be making money by selling a hot product that everybody wants for less than what everyone else is paying for.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So let's say all that I'm smart enough to do this. I learned enough to protect myself, but I still was scammed. What do I do?
So, if you do fall for these scams, the first thing to remember is don't be ashamed. Everyone can fall victim to these scams. The attackers are becoming more sophisticated in their attack methods, and a lot of them are becoming a lot more believable. And so, the best thing to do if you have been scammed is to report it right away. Report it to the FTC, and also report it to your credit card and or banking so that you could possibly get your money back. So the longer you wait to report them, the less likely you'll be able to get your money back. Because a lot of these scammers, what they'll do is they'll hold shipping for like 2 or 3 months out in the future, so that way you can't get your money back, because these credit card companies have a little small window, like 30 days, that you can report any of these scams, because they figure, hey, if you waited more than 30 days, then that's on you for waiting so long to report it. So time is of the essence in this case. So report early so that you don't become a victim. Sometimes you may not be able to get your money back, and sometimes you will. It just all depends on what kind of credit card policies that you have. And just earlier you get to it, the more likely it is you get your money back. Anything else you want to add?
So there's different ways we can pay a scammer, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can pay with a credit card. It can get you to do a wire transfer either from your bank account or with like Western Union or MoneyGram. They can get you to pay with a gift card, right? They can get you to send cash via U.S. mail. I mean, I know we know this is a no-no, but I don't know if somebody would do it out there. It's okay, just
people have done it. There are videos on YouTube of people who got scammed by sending cash to a scammer,
right?
And it's very elaborate. I'll put in the show notes a link to one of those videos where someone actually tracked down these scammers and actually was able to successfully recover the money for the victim.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So also crypto, is now that's new, right? Whatever it is, whichever form of payment you paid, even though 90% of the time you may not get your money back, but if there's a chance you can get it back, it's worth the fight, right?
Yes, it is.
So reach out to the service provider, whether it was a wire transfer, it was your bank, it was your credit card company, it was your digital coin wallet provider. Even try to call the postal inspector if you send cash via by a letter, and see if they can put a trace on that, right? There are things that you can do. Now the second thing is, what if the scammer gets my PII? All right, it's not just cash. They got my name, my address, my phone number. I mean, they're gonna ship something to me. They got my social profile, etc. Number one is, if you give some of us can give up our social security number. Again, you get tricked through social engineering to give that up. Did you give them your username and password, right? So if you gave them your social security number, is a website called identitytheft.gov, where it should give you some resources, and we'll put that down in the show notes as well, on what the steps that you need to take to monitor your credit. And there's a lot of free resources. If you give me your password and username, well, we've been trying, I think we're beating a dead horse here. Password managers, always do that, right?
And change your passwords.
Change your
once
password
a year. Yeah.
Right. Now, if you give them access to your computer or your phone or your tablet, whatever, to help you run through, remote desktop assistance, and hey, help me with this and that. Now it's time to invest in your antivirus software and any malware software. Have those stuff.
Or even just reformat your computer or phone back to factory reset, because you don't know if they put in a Trojan horse somewhere in the background that you can't get to.
Or something. And then the final thing would be, report it to the FTC, right? There's a website called reportfraud.ftc.gov. A lot of us say, what are they going to do? Well, even if just to keep numbers and keep statistics, if we didn't have those reports, we wouldn't have the programs that the federal government is pushing now for cybersecurity and data protection and consumer rights and,
Yep.
information. And it's in California here. Also, you have those, the state laws that are passing for, protecting your private data and all that. If people didn't report as we started, this stuff started to happen, we wouldn't have the budget to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's kind of like this is a type of crime that we have to tackle as a society as a whole. There's
Mhm.
always going to be the bad guys, there's always going to be the good guys, and there's always going to be the people in the middle. Well, it's the majority of us are going to be the people in the middle, and we need to protect ourselves from those bad guys.
Yeah.
Right.
So we need to band together, not just say, "Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm not going to tell anyone. Just keep it to myself." Just swallow your pride and say, "Yep, I fell for it," and just report. Because, like with the example of the site that I went to purchase the computer, it's actually been taken down now because it was reported to many people, and then the government stepped in and say, okay, this is a scam site, and put pressure on the hosting company to shut down the site so that they can't continue to scam people. So is there anything else you want to add in here?
That's it.
All right.
That's it.
So, well, this concludes the second episode in the online shopping series. Just look out for the next one where we're going to talk about internet fraud and what you can do to protect yourself. So, see you in the next one. If you like what was in this episode, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing with others. For more information, to suggest a topic, or to donate, head over to simplecyberdefense.com.